Yo, welcome to You. This is me. Today we have Joe Warner. It's kind of weird calling you Joe, but we're gonna call you Joe anyway. So what's up, Joe? How you been, bro?
Good, man. Good. Just living life, working, going to school. Veteran life, I guess. Living off part-time work, full-time student. That's kind of how it goes.
Hey, man, not bad. But you were telling me that you were up at school in what was that? Oh, freaking! You just told me Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. I'm in Wisconsin now. Moved up here about closing in on 2 years ago.
Okay.
So
How do you like it better than Georgia?
it's cold. It's cold, but I love it up here, man. I really do. The cheese is good. The beer is plentiful. I put on 20 pounds. I call it my winter coat. But I love it up here, man. It really is. It's a great place. So
Nice, man. What are you going to school for?
I'm going to school for nursing. So I'm taking nursing prerequisites, and I'm also going to school for a phlebotomy technician. Just the way the GI Bill works out, you got to take a certain amount of credits, and so I'm staying within the health field and trying to just build up as many certs as I can while I get my nursing associate's degree.
Nice, man. You said you were working. What are you doing for work right now?
I'm actually a bouncer right now.
Nice.
So, it's kind of funny. So when I tell people that, they're like, "You're kind of small for a bouncer." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, especially up here. Like the average size up here is 6'2", 200 pounds, and I'm 5'9", 180. So I say, yeah. What happens is I go up and I say, "Look, man, I need you to calm down." And then they start running their mouth a little bit, and I said, "Look, I'm not going to throw you out, but the 6'7" dude over there, he's going to throw you out." And then he'll walk up, and the people tend to calm down real quick. So it's just like a escalating procedures there. Let's relax here. We don't want to do anything crazy. And then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So.
Hey, man. What you gotta do.
Yeah.
Just like, listen here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, one of my first times up here, actually, I was pretty drunk at a bar, and I looked up at the guy, and it's literally, I'm like looking up at the guy, and I was like, "You're a big fucker." And thankfully, this dude was really nice, and he patted me on the head, and he was like, "I know," and then walked off. And I was like, "Thanks for not killing me, dude."
Thank you for not eating me.
Yeah, exactly. This dude's huge. Oh man.
Yeah, man, that's cool, dude. That's cool. Going to school, working, no kids. I know you were saying it. I know you were living the single life over there, or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. No kids. Not married. I got a girlfriend. She's great. She puts up with my shit. Took me out for my 30th. I make fun of her. I said she sabotaged me, but truth is that I sabotaged myself that night. But it was a good night. So she's amazing, man. She really is. So
Nice. I'm glad for you. I'm happy.
thank you.
Happy. Keeps you happy.
Yeah. She keeps me in line for the most part.
You need
Make sure
that
I
from
get my
time to
homework done. Yeah. Sometimes more than others.
Hey, man, it is what it is. Besides that, like, what else are you up to, dude?
Not much, man. I went deer hunting for the first time ever this year. Actually,
Okay.
didn't shoot anything.
All right.
I was pissed. Like opening day, everybody's shooting around me, and I'm like sitting there, like nothing. Went out a few days later, nothing. Still got some meat though. Roush actually, he hit one. So I
Okay.
helped him drag it out, so I got some meat off of that. It was that was like my deer hunting experience. I was like, man, next time I'm just gonna go to the butcher shop. Like this is too much work.
Yeah, I heard somebody around here in my area, not deer or anything. I actually don't know what he went to go hunt, but when season started, he went out and for the first 2 weeks, he's like, I can't find anything. I can't find anything at all. And I'm like, I don't understand because right before Thanksgiving, there was turkeys everywhere when I went out there. I'm like, how the hell did you not find anything? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Honestly, so the apartments I live in, like, there's always turkeys around here, and then around deer season, they're around here. Their deer are because they're safe here. And I was coming home from work one night, and this big, beautiful bucks just sitting on the side of the road, like chilling out in the grass. And I stopped and looked at him, like took a picture of my phone, and I was like, it was like a week before season started too, and I was like, watch, I'm not gonna see anything. I was tempted. I was like, should I just like pop this dude right now? And I was like, nah, it's probably a bad idea to just letting off rounds in the apartment here, in the complex here.
Oh man, yeah, they're not dumb. Freaking dumb. Damn, dude. So deer, who'd you go with? You said Rouse.
Yeah. I went with Roush and his wife. They both got one. I
Nice.
didn't. So
It happens. Happens.
yeah. You don't win them all.
Hey man, I've never gone hunting. I've gone fishing, didn't catch anything. So feel your pain. Gomez makes fun of me all the time. He's like, "How the hell do you go fishing and not catch anything?" I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I went a little bit while I was in Japan and never caught anything. Like I would catch like little bitty things that weren't even worth eating. And I was like, you know what? I should just stop doing this. Like the market's right over there. Why not just go buy one?
It's like, yeah, let's go that way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Damn,
I don't even like sushi either. So I'm like, why am I even doing this? I don't really like fish. I guess I just like it was just a cool thing to do, and I was like, I'm not good at it. So
I had to get into sushi. I used to hate sushi. My wife got me into it.
yeah,
Not bad. I'm picky with it though.
yeah. I've tried it a few times. I mean, like California rolls. Obviously, I can eat that. I can eat
Can't.
veggie rolls, but it's just
I hate the
texture of
seaweed.
it. Oh no, that doesn't bother me. I can't take the texture of. So I was in Vegas one time and I had Philadelphia rolls. They're it's just salmon and cream cheese, and I ate it and I was like, it feels like I'm just chewing snot. I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Like, so we left and went drinking. I was like, I'm done. I'm not eating.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds good, but I know the texture. Like it would be like gooey.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I was like, I like salmon. I like cheese, cream cheese. So maybe this will be good. No,
Yeah.
no,
No, not at all.
that wasn't for me. Wasn't for me.
Not bad. Cool, man. Fishing, anything else? Or sorry, hunting, anything else?
No, that's really it, man. So working, school. School takes up a lot of time. In class for 20 hours a week, which means I'm studying for about 30 hours a week outside of class. I only work like 10, 15 hours a week. Honestly, nursing school is hard, man. I always thought, like, growing up, I always thought, like, nurses are dumb. Like, obviously, like, they can't change oil, they can't change tires, like, whatever. And then I got into, starting to take some of the classes, and I was like, whoa, it's a whole different language. Like, I don't know any of this stuff. So, kudos to those well, the girls out there is what I was thinking of immediately, but kudos to the nurses out there. It's no joke, man. It's a hard school.
Oh yeah, I know a couple guys. I think I don't know if you remember him, Jacob, Wesley Jacob. He was in my platoon, Filipino cat.
Yeah. I remember. Always looked like he had a black eye.
Spot, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he's a nurse.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. I see his videos from time to time when he's not posting of his daughter. He's always posting that he's in the ER room. I think he was in class at one point because I didn't know when he graduated. It went from like a classroom setting to straight like hospital, unless he's in his clinicals or whatever that shit's called.
That might be.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Kudos to you guys. I can't do it, man. I hate blood. I hate needles. I can't do it. Hate it. Can't.
Yeah, as long as I mean, I know I'm gonna have to do it eventually, but it's the cleaning up after people that I don't want to deal with. But there's pros and cons to every job. So at the end of the day, you gotta say, it's my job and get paid to do this. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, man, kudos to you. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would lose my mind. I really would. But you know what? That's pretty badass, dude. That's pretty freaking badass. Obviously, I had a few questions I wanted to ask you to, catch up in your previous military to see a little bit about yourself. I know you told me you came from Georgia. Is that where you got recruited out of?
Yeah. So, born and raised in Georgia. Graduated high school there and everything. Northwest Georgia. So I'm like an hour and a half from Atlanta, an hour and a half from Tennessee, and about 15 minutes from Alabama. So we're pretty much.
Now I get the joke. Your emojis?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I get it. Inside joke, all right.
I've had a lot of people ask about that, and I get always tell them the same thing.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm like, all right, there's only 2 other people that do that, and I know why they do it. And when I'm like, all right, why are you doing it? I'm just like, oh, okay, I got you. Hey, man, it ain't bad. But cool, man. So up North Georgia.
Yeah, North Georgia, up that way. A lot of I don't know, man. He says it's a very I don't want to say multicultural place because it's still very redneck, but there's you got brown people, you got black people, you got white people. It's actually a pretty cool place to grow up. Get a little bit of input from all different cultures, but a lot of input from rednecks. So
not bad. Nope. What year did you graduate from high school and like you go straight? Or sorry, did you go straight from high school to boot camp, or how did that transition all work out?
So I actually went into the debt program in like my junior year, and
Early.
then so about a month after graduating, I actually was supposed to go to boot camp till like fall. My recruiter called me. He's like, "Hey, so I don't know if this was just like a recruiter move or what it was, but he's like, hey, so your flight got moved up to September." And I was like, all right, cool. Well, not September. It was like July. So you got moved up to July. So I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'm going in July now. So graduated in, let's see, May. I want to say what graduation ceremony is May. Shipped out to boot camp July. So
Okay, 2 months later. Sounds about right. So you went into the debt program in your junior year?
yeah, yeah.
Damn, you knew you wanted to be a Marine early.
Well, I wasn't the best student. Like I didn't get in a lot of trouble and stuff. But honestly, my whole thing was like I graduated 2.7 GPA. I actually almost failed my junior year and started getting my stuff straightened out and actually paying attention a little bit so I could graduate. And I was like, man, I got 2.7 GPA. There's no chance of me like going to college on this. Can't really afford college. So I decided like I'll join the military, and that's what came of it. I was looking at the Army, looking at different things, and then the Marine Corps. I saw the advertisements for the Marine Corps, the recruiting ads and stuff, and it just struck me. I was like, I want to be one of them dudes. I'm gonna be a badass. And then I went into boot camp at like 135 pounds, and I realized I'm not that badass.
Hey, man. It's not that bad. Did you have any prior military in the family, or influence in the military, or influence in the family?
Yes and no. So like nobody in my family was a career military, but
Okay.
a lot of members served. So my mom and dad actually met in the Navy. My great granddad was in World War II. Not my great granddad, my mom's dad. So my mom's dad was in World War II and in the Korean War in the Navy. My great granddad was actually a Marine on EWO. I didn't find that out until after I joined, actually.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's actually a lot that I didn't know. Most people in my family, like I said, they did 4 or 6 years, whatever. My granddad did a lot longer than that, going from World War II to Korean War, but none of them were career military. But there was definitely an influence throughout my family to take that route. It was always like it was kind of an honorable thing to do within my family. Like, oh, join the military, grow up a little bit, and
Yeah.
figure out life after that. So
Okay, sounds good, dude. That's pretty cool. So you say your great grandpa?
yeah, yeah,
Your great grandpa was Iwo. You said Iwo Jima.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was an EWO vet. Yeah, I didn't really, I don't never really met him. I think I may have met him once when I was like
Young.
baby,
Yeah.
But I heard a lot of stories about him and stuff like that. I guess he liked to drink. He liked to. He's kind of a redneck guy. He liked to drink. He liked to fight. Yeah, exactly. So, but
That's Diego's.
yeah, he was an EWO vet, man. That's really all I ever knew about him. And he liked to drink, and he's one of those guys that the story goes that he got really upset like when the Playboy Channel, because he lived, God, I don't know how long he lived for a long time, but I guess he got really upset when they took the Playboy Channel off of like public TV. like he was a man's man, I don't know how true that is, man. Like I said, I never really met him. That's just a story I've heard. So
Hey man, that's a pretty funny story though. That's a lot of military though. That's cool though that you actually had somebody that was like an Iwo Jima though. Like I don't have no one, dude. No one in my family. Not even like Hispanic military, like Mexico military. No one at all. The closest one that comes to is my wife's grandfather, but that's just because I married into their family.
Okay, yeah.
What did you get stuck with the MOS that you picked, or did you get thrown?
No, so remember how I said like I thought I was going to be as badass and everything.
Oh,
So
what you do?
I actually was contract recon, and
Uh-huh.
that didn't work out. So
Happened.
actually, I made it pretty far.
You can't swim.
Well, I couldn't when I got there. I got recycled a couple of times, and then in my I don't want to call it my stupidity because I love being in regular infantry, but I got pissed off one night and we were doing a night swim and I just decided I was done with it. I'd been in that school for, in and out of like the holding platoon and the actual course for the better part of 8 months. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I DOR'd. And then they cut me orders, sent me to 3-5. So.
Did you come with Gomez?
I came with Doyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then yourself from the 3rd platoon, right?
Yeah. Okay. Gomez was there as well, but I came with Doyle.
Okay. Yeah, I never went to that school. I saw the school, well, BRC, and all I ever saw was you guys getting hazed.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, so the holding platoon is you wake up, you get hazed, you eat lunch, and then you get hazed some more, and then the school itself is very academically challenging as well as physically challenging. It's a tough school, man. So I got kudos to those guys that can push through and make it through that school. It's no joke.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I know a couple guys. So I met a couple guys afterwards that are in recon. Some of them didn't seem too bright, and then others I was surprised that they can actually run because they were a little bit on the bigger side. But dude, yeah, they're animals, man. They're actually pretty fucking intelligent when you actually pick their brain and everything, and they can fucking out PT almost anyone I know.
Oh yeah,
They're fucking quick.
I always thought that was kind of funny because dropping out of the school and being there for so long. When I hit the fleet, some of the seniors were like, "We're gonna haze you," and all right, cool. And we'd go for runs, and I was like, "No, this isn't a problem for me. Like, I can do this."
Yeah, Gomez would make fun of me. He's like, "I'm not gonna run with you." He's like, "You can't keep up with me." I'm like, "I'll break your fucking leg."
Yeah, that's what you say now. If I hit you with a fucking brick.
No, man, I made fun of him actually recently because we were actually having that conversation about how I used to hate running, and he's like, "Wait, you're running now?" And I go, "Yeah, man, I run." He goes, "What?" I go, "You don't run no more." He goes, "Oh, hell no." He said, "I gave up that a long time ago." And like everyone that used to be a rabbit, I'm like, "Hey, do you want to go on a run?" Those that live around here, you want to go on a run? They're like, "I haven't had running shoes since the military, dude." I'm like, I'm not running. I'm like, all right, well, that is what it is.
Yeah, I don't run anymore. Like if I get on the treadmill, I'm like 5 miles an hour for 5 minutes. I'm like, that's it, I'm done. No more. Like, I don't cardio.
I lose my mind on a treadmill, dude.
It's so boring. It is so boring. I'm just like, I try to like get in the zone and stuff, and I can't do it. I can't hold it for even if I go on a run around here. It's 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, that's it, I'm done. It's just boring to me now, and I'm kind of like my knees hurt. Just getting older. So.
But then it's cold up there too, so everything cracks.
Yeah. It's hard to get out and run in the morning. There's people that do it, man. There's this one girl lives in my apartment complex. You see her out every morning, and I'm like, kudos to her. I'm not doing it. Like I'll go to the gym. I'm not doing that stuff.
Yeah, no way. But damn, dude. So, what was your family's reaction when you chose to follow their paths and go to the military?
So, actually, at the time, I was living with my grandparents.
Okay.
And they were really supportive of it. They wanted me to go to Coast Guard at first. But then I remember one day my grandmother was talking to me, and she said, this is when I found out that my great granddad was a UO vet. She said, your grandpa Hess was a Marine on Iwo Jima, and so I thought, thinking about it, you're going to the Marine Corps. You're going to end up going somewhere that's going to be bad. Because like I said, most of my family was in the Navy, or my dad was in the Philippines for a while. She said we've never had to deal with anything like that before, so she was kind of worried. But I never got hit, I never got shot, never got blown up, nothing like that. I don't know how, but it just it never did. So, but she was kind of worried about that. The rest of them were real supportive of it. My granddad and I actually we butted heads a lot, and then after my first deployment, he and I saw eye to eye together on a lot of stuff afterwards. He was a tanker in the National Guard, so he kind of had that mantra to him, I guess, as well, of being in the military and stuff. He was a tanker during the Vietnam era. He never went to Vietnam, but he was in during that time period.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy. So you literally followed your grandfather's steps. That's cool. Did you ever try to go to the actual area where he explored or anything, or that he deployed to, or do you know where he deployed to, a specific spot?
My granddad never deployed in Vietnam. You mean my great granddad in Iwo? I never did. Like I said, I never really knew much about him. I wish I had. Maybe one day in the future I'll be able to get out there and get to Iwo. I wish, and that's another thing. Looking back, I wish I'd gone to more places because I was in Japan for a couple of years, and
That's why I asked.
Yeah, I never went to EWO. I wish I had. I wish I'd got my little jar of sand and stuff, but I never did while I was there. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't do. I got to go see the tunnels in Japan. I never saw the actual location of like battlefields and everything else. I just saw like the memorial areas.
Yeah.
Got to experience the tunnels, which was cool. Yeah, I never did that. Yeah, one of my Marines that I had during that time, I think it was his grandfather, was in 2-1, and he had actually was one of the ones that stormed the freaking beach or whatever. And he's like, he just kept staring around, looking around, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's crazy how I'm standing where my grandfather fought. I'm just like, fuck, that's deep.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I might take you back a couple of steps right there.
Yeah, we were just like, man, like that's intense. It is. Like I remember, I went to go see I actually saw Iowa. I don't even remember Iowa.
Yeah. First platoon Iowa.
Yeah, I saw him. He was at a football game. It's an all law enforcement team against an all law enforcement football team. I want to go support one of my friends, and he was there. He was in San Diego, and I completely lost track. What were we talking about again?
Iowa, Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima. So there was an organization there giving out like information on what they do and all that nonsense. And I seen one of the red caps, and it had the First Marine Division on it. Walked up to them, like, "Hey, what's this about?" And they're like, "Oh, we actually gather veterans from like World War II and Korea and stuff like that. We take them on trips to go see where they fought." And I go, "That is fucking badass, dude." And I started thinking, like, how badass would it be if, like, years later, because I remember having this conversation, I forgot who it was with. We were standing on top of the gravesite looking down at Transformer, and we go, man, how badass would it be that in 10 years we literally come back, and it's 10 years later. We come back, and we're literally being able to walk around. They're like, you know what's even more badass? And in 50 years, when we're old and crusty, there's going to be a Walmart right there. And I go,
yeah.
Fuck.
Oh man! So it's kind of funny you talk about Walmart. The last time I went to Afghanistan, we had this Afghan general come by, and spoke well-educated individual, spoke English and stuff, and he actually said that he had been to the U.S. a couple of times doing some training and stuff, and he said that his dream was to have a McDonald's in Afghanistan, and like that to us, that sounds wild, and I'm like, what, like McDonald's? But you think about it, like that's kind of how privileged we are. That this guy, he's a general in the Afghan army, and like he wants a McDonald's in Afghanistan. Like that's his dream. I was like, wow, dude. That shows just
to us, it's kind of like
how privileged we were.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because for them it's a big fucking deal, dude. Huge deal. Huge. If I were to see a McDonald's in Afghan, that thing's gonna have a fucking donkey drive-through for days.
They're selling flatbread and cigarettes out of the windows and stuff. Well, how many cheeseburgers you could fit in a bongo truck?
Oh, with all the people overflowing around it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that'd be one crazy ass. Oh man, we just took that in a whole different direction. Yeah, dude, that's cool though, man. So your family's jumping back on topic. Your family's reaction wasn't too bad. That's cool, man. I actually liked it that you follow track. It just kind of sucks that your mom kind of was like worried about it. At least she wasn't freaking out like most of our parents are. Like I hear the stories from most guys, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, my mom freaked out." It's like she did this, she did that, she started eating, she disappeared. And I'm just like, "Fuck." It's like I guess that's common. So something different.
Yeah. I've heard the same. I've heard it's pretty common, but I think that having so many people that were in the military in my family were kind of like, they knew what to deal with and what could be expected and things like that. So they said they were real supportive about it. So that was cool.
That's good. That's good that they got to see you freaking become a Marine and all that stuff. That's badass. And both parents are too. That's freaking cool as shit. Did you go West Coast boot camp?
No. It was East Coast boot camp.
Oh, yeah. How was that? You're the first one. That's all I'm asking.
Hot, man. It was hot.
All right.
I remember getting there, man, and thinking, like before I went, I wrestled in high school and I thought I was some kind of badass, and I get to boot camp and I'm like, what did I get myself into? Like this is a whole different world. but it was hot. Went in the summertime. We had people first time ever having to see people with heat casualties and stuff like that. We were getting IT'd one time. This funny, kind of funny story. First time like I ever like had to like I want to say save somebody, but like wake somebody up, dude. We're getting IT, and this guy's like, "Yo, can I? It's pretty to make an emergency head call." Takes off to the bathroom, doesn't come back. So I was like, "What's going on?" So I rose my hand. You know, crew needs to make an emergency head call. Run in there. Dude's face is in the toilet, and he's passed out. Just like he cast into the toilet. I pulled him out, gave him a sternum rub, woke him up and stuff. He was fine, but yeah, I think he was throwing up and just down in the toilet.
Oh, that's insane. Did you have to deal with the bugs? The sand fleas?
The sand fleas, yeah. So the sand fleas. I mean, being from the south, we have what we call chiggers. It's you roll in the grass and stuff. You see like video or old videos of kids rolling downhill in the grass and stuff like that. You get it's very similar, just little bitty bugs, and they'll bite you. Kind of like itch, kind of like what gives a fleas to a dog is chiggers to a person. They just it's the same, very similar to the sand fleas in Paris Island.
All right. Did you get hazed a lot?
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to be careful with the term haze, but yeah.
You're out. You're good.
But yeah, man, that was. I wasn't like a squad leader or a guide or anything like that, but I was in the rabbit class. I ran cross country in high school, so I was in the rabbit class, and man, I went to boot camp at like 130 pounds, little skinny guy, and yeah, there was a lot of push-ups and running back and forth. There's a lot of stuff like that. So there's a lot of hazing there. I was part of a 3rd Battalion, and they say it's kind of funny, man, because they're always like, nobody can hear you scream out here, but like the island's not that big. like they just pretend like they don't hear it. That's all. Like people hear you.
I've never been. So I can't say.
I think the worst part about Paris Island boot camp, man, honestly, was because you don't see the females. You'll have like a sister company that's training, on the same training line that you are, and then every now and then you'll kind of pass by them, and you're all screaming, and then they're all screaming, and they got these really high pitched voices, and it's just annoying as fuck. Like to hear them scream, like you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I heard that you guys only like see each other like on Sundays and shit. Because I spoke to somebody that was there, older veteran. Asked him like, "How was that?" Because he said he's like, "You went to San Diego, huh?" And I go, "Yeah." He's like, starts making fun of me. Then he tells me that he was in Paris Island. He's like, "Yeah, we wouldn't see the females. Everyone gives us a bunch of crap, but we only saw each other like maybe on Sundays when we like passed by each other in formations."
Yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. My camera shut up for a second. I'm trying to get this thing to charge. Yeah. You don't really see them. Maybe on Sundays when you pass by each other, or going to church or something like that. But you don't really see them in the training environment. Maybe you might see them once in the training environment when you're like going through the crucible and stuff. And again, you're just passing by each other though. You don't really see them.
Cool, man. And then after that, you go SOI West Coast. Or you stay in the East?
No, I went West Coast.
Okay.
So I was a contract recon. That didn't work out for me, but they only train recon on the West Coast. So I went from there to West Coast SOI and got my introduction to hiking in Camp Pendleton and hiking all those hills. It was not good to me the first couple of times I tried it.
I don't like those either.
Yeah, but I went West Coast SOI, went over to recon training for a while, dropped out of that, and then ended up in 3-5.
Nice, and then that's where we met.
Yeah. If you mean hazing by meeting, yeah, kind of.
What are you talking about? Did we have an encounter? You're like, I ain't saying shit.
Nothing.
I apologize. I had to make it real.
I don't remember. I don't recall you ever directly hazing me. It may have happened. I recall there being some 2nd platoon, 3rd platoon brawls that you may have been part of, but I don't know.
I can see those happening.
Yeah.
But
those definitely happen. There's no I can see them happen. I mean, They definitely happen. I remember it was a third platoon individual that ended up punching another third platoon individual in the back of the head during one. It's just like a clash of people.
Yeah, we were pretty wild, pretty reckless. That's all right.
Yeah. Well,
It's character.
Mateo's kind of got that reputation. It's a. I love Mateo. It's a great place. You can get away with a lot of stuff. As long as people aren't getting seriously hurt. I recall a time we were in formation and they were looking for a Marine and asked where he was, and platoon sergeant asked where he was, and they're like, "Oh, he's tied up." Like we hogtied this dude, and threw him up on a top bunk, and just left him there all day. They're like, "We'll go untie him." I'm like, shit.
Was that with 3-5?
That was a Wednesday for us,
Was that with 3-5?
Yeah, that was when we were boots. There's actually a senior who we jumped and hogtied him. He wasn't happy.
I want to know who that is. And I know you won't tell me.
Well, he's out now too, so I'll tell you, it was Matthews. I don't know if you remember Matthews or not. Yeah, it was Matthews. He was a big boy, so it took a few of us to hogtie him.
Oh shit! Squeal like a pig.
Yeah.
These are fucked up. Oh man.
Yeah.
We all had fun. We all did stupid shit. We're just laughing about it now. He's probably like, I fucking hate you guys.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I haven't seen him in years. Last I heard, he was working at an airport, working for TSA, doing something like that. I don't know though. From Las Vegas, I think he moved back to Las Vegas and started working with TSA there. I'm not sure. So next time you get checked at an airport, blame him. Fuck him. Where's that bastard at?
I'm thinking about making a trip to Vegas. Actually, there's a Marine out there, and I was thinking about freaking flying in, just making a trip out of it. I like eating the food out there, man. Love the food. I hate the party scene. Love the food. Love the food. It's awesome. I'm surprised I'm not a fat ass, dude. If it wasn't for me running every day, dude, I think I'd probably be like 300 pounds, man. Come on, right before we started this, what did I tell you? Hey, bro, I'm eating real quick.
Yeah. It's, big games. Big games require big food.
Oh man, I'm trying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm lucky. I got a high metabolism, but it's catching up. It's catching up now. Getting a little bit older, getting a little bit fatter. So
I wouldn't eat before. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, "How is it that you were skinny fat?" And I'm like, "That's offensive."
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm like, get all serious, like, really? Yeah, no.
His girlfriend told me. Yeah, his girlfriend told me the other day. She was like, "I like your tummy." I was like, "Thanks." Like, appreciate that. I used to have abs. Like, wow.
I've never had abs. I think the closest thing I got to it was last year, and then certain dates came around and put me in a fucked up little spot, and kind of just like fell off the wagon, started like binge eating and all that nonsense. And I was like, screw it, 5 burgers won't hurt.
I'll run that off later.
It's like, you had 5 meals and they were all burgers today. So? Yeah.
Don't judge me. You know my life.
Yeah, man, pretty much. Fuck, dude. So, 3-5's fucking journey. How was that, man?
Man, so I got the 3.5 as a boot.
Obviously.
I made the boot mistake. I bought a car in Oceanside. And my platoon sergeant told me.
You weren't the Mustang, were you?
No, it wasn't a Mustang. It was worse. It was a Tiburon. It was so bad. Do you remember the little yellow Tiburon rolling around there?
No, I remember the blue one.
Okay, no, it wasn't blue one. It was a little yellow Tiburon. It was not a cool car at all. It was so bad. But I loved it. It was the first decent car I ever had. So paid way too much for it. But he said all right, you want to get a car? Fine, I'm gonna send you to every driver's course there is. So I did. I got every driver's license there was that the Marine Corps had to offer, except for some that are specific to MOSs. So I ended up driving a lot, and they some of the other 3rd platoon guys used to call me 03 Motor T because I was always driving all over the place, man. I missed some training events. I missed a lot of training events because I was getting ammo and doing shit like that.
Yeah.
But I also missed a lot of hikes too, so I was cool
That's
with that.
my next question. That was gonna be my next question. That guy got a lot of hikes because you're always driving. I think I remember seeing you freaking behind everybody laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just pointing, honking. Get out of the way.
Get in the truck. We got to catch up to everybody else.
Yeah. Actually, dude, there's one of the guys I talked to. He's like, dude, I still remember my first encounter going from 29 Palms to 3.5. As soon as I checked in, they go get your gear. We have a 12-mile hike tomorrow. And it's the one that where Decker was in charge of it, and they got lost, and and the battalion went one way, battalion commander went another, and then everyone that was tail end literally comes up the hill with all the trucks, and we're like, where the fuck is everyone? And they're like, battalion's that way, battalion commander's that way. We're like, we're going that way. So we take off. We're sitting there, we're just like, fuck, and he's literally like, dude, this fucking sucks. And I'm like, well, this is our last hike, and this is the longest one.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was brutal. Actually, I had to hike that one. I remember like going uphill and Olson, like I had like, my pack, like 3 rifles. I hadn't fallen out yet, and I'm back. Like I'm on the like, oh, I'm gonna fall out line. And Olson checks me. He looks at me and he like lifts my eye up and sees if there's if it's dry or if there's any reaction. And he tells me, he's like, go sit down, you're done. And I like went and sat down and I looked behind me and there's like a mile of people that have fallen out. So I was like, well, fuck. And I got up and started walking up the hill. Like I might as well keep walking. I got to the top of the hill and the battalion stopped. They like stopped to take a break and let everybody catch up.
Yeah.
And like after that, we went down to Mateo Road and just walked over to the CP. It was
Yeah, it was super easy. Yeah, no, but on the back end, I was part of the fucking mile long fucking dying people. Because we had a platoon sergeant during that time that was like, all my team leaders, go get the weapons. Leave the bodies, get the weapons. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I'm going to leave the people and come back with weapons? I'm like, come on. So we went down there, and during that time, he had this assholes from mentality. He goes, part of the gear is also the gear they're carrying. So we had guys that had packs on them. And when somebody saw us, and they're like, what are you guys doing? We're like, well, our guys fall out. We got to carry their packs and their weapon. So our pack, we threw it in the truck. We'd carry our weapon, carry the weapons, but we had to like strap them to everything. So we had saws galore, 8 barrels, fucking rifles, 203s. We're like, we can't do this no more. Like, we're fucking dead.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like that ended up being a company thing. Because I remember in Bridgeport, was another brutal one, and like guys would fall out, and then if you had a sled, like their pack and their rifle went on your sled, and you just towed it the rest of the way. It was horrible.
Yes. See, I hated it during that time, but it actually helped us out in Afghan because it helped us a lot with the fucking casualties and shit like that. Because there's fucking spots where we're like, we gotta get the hell out of here. Let's go. Yeah, and it helped out. Like that's the one thing that I actually look back with afterwards, and I was like, you know what? I can't hate them for that. Like that actually helped out a shitload.
Yeah, and I gotta agree. I did a lot of meeting halfway, picking up casualties and stuff like that in trucks. But absolutely, I remember picked up the casualty and there's all this gear. Well, you got to disseminate the gear, and some of those guys, they're carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So you put on somebody else's flak, or you throw it over your shoulder, and there's another 50, 60 pounds just in their flak, not including their rifle and whatever other gear they got on them. So it definitely helped out.
Yeah. Just a quick thing. Speaking of that, the night before Braggs got hit, I actually saw him switching over his gear from yes, and I had told him, I go, dude. Oh, I used a different word. Screw it. I went, nigga. If you switch your gear, you're gonna literally be a bigger, heavier person if you get hit. He goes, oh, I'm not gonna get hit. I'm fine. And I go, you're good. He goes, but I'm a big nigga. I need all the protection I can take. Literally the last words he tells me. And I look at him, I give him a kiss on the head, and I go, have a good night. And I walked away. That was the last fucking conversation we had.
Yeah, I remember because I saw him out. We were out at fires the day beforehand, doing dropping off MREs, dropping off something, and the next day we were taking out Breach Site 1 and replacing it because it was all made out of like railroad ties, and it was waiting to fall apart.
Yeah.
And actually, that was a weird one, man, because I remember him talking about changing out his flag to get a little more protection. And then the next day, when that call came over, we were trying to figure out who it was based off the Z-Miss. And we heard you on the radio. We were like, it's not Barbara.
Yeah, everyone thought it was me, man. I have had several people come up to me and they're like, can I be honest with you? I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? They're like, that day that Brags got hit, they're like, we thought it was you. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, why? They're like, because the radio cut out.
Yeah.
And not until the next person jumped on the radio, which was you, everyone goes, oh, it's not him, it's Brags.
Yeah, that's exactly how we work. So we're sitting there at Breach Site 1, like, oh man, who is it? You know, and a couple clicks away, we can see bombs dropping, everything happening, and we were trying to figure out who it was. And I remember hearing that Z-Miss come over, and there being a Bravo, whatever the last 4 was, and trying to figure out. Then we heard you on the radio, like, oh shit, not him, it's Brags. So.
Yeah, that one was actually the Dunbar, because this is going to get released before yours is. We were talking about that day how he was tagged up with Iowa. Was that 1-2, I believe it was, whatever squad Iowa was, but I know he was in first platoon. Well, I remember having a conversation with one of the team leaders on there. I don't want to say his name until I get him on here, because he's actually the first to ever tell me the story, and him and I go back to boot camp.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why that when he told me what he did, how fast they moved in Iowa, yelling at him and everything, like it all clicked. And I was like, you know what, bro, I would have done the same for you. And I give him a fucking big hug. And we still hang out. We see each other from time to time. But it's humbling to hear how all you guys literally were like, shit, that's him. Oh, fuck, no, it's not him, it's him. That's why, because I did the same thing with other people. It's like, fuck, it's this person. Because it's like you go into that person, whoever it is that you've either seen the most, in reality, who's loud as shit. Because Brags wasn't a loud person.
No, it wasn't. He was a kind dude. He was a big, they say that thing like the gentle giant. That was him, man. He's a big dude. He was real nice to everybody. He liked to drink his 40s. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't know that he was a big drinker until I met his sister 2 years ago. Well, I've met her beforehand, but 2 years ago I linked up with her, and she goes, "Yeah, like he was a huge drinker even before the Marine Corps." I'm like, "Really?" And then literally, as soon as she tells me, all the stories start coming out. I was like, "Yeah, dude, we used to get fucked up all the time." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, he already knew he couldn't keep up with you guys, so he would just get drunk." We're just like, "Oh my fucking god!" I'm like, "All right, whatever." Hey, man, each their own.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a lot of drinking going on, around Mateo and those barracks, anyways. So.
Oh yeah, a good healthy amount. Yeah. So, how was your experience with 3.5, man?
Honestly, man, for the workup and everything, I did a lot of driving. I did a lot of, running ammo around and stuff like that. I was 3rd Platoon's RO for a month. Okay. And after that, I ended up going to headquarters platoon. Because I was driving so much, I kind of had a feel for how the logistics worked out. And our current police sergeant was getting surgery on his ankle, I think, maybe. I don't know. He wasn't going to be able to play. So I ended up getting pulled and going to headquarters platoon and worked with headquarters platoon for the final, for ITX, the final field op, and then deployed with headquarters platoon. I think most of the workup I was with 3rd Platoon, and in the last 3-4 months I ended up over in headquarters platoon throughout the build-up. I honestly, man, I love being with 3.5. I loved all the guys. It was an experience for sure, living there in Mateo, being right by the beach. The training was great. The guys, you build a family with guys you barely know. And a lot of that kind of stuff really comes to manifest, to show while you're on deployments, and to see how tight that family really is. It's crazy, man. So I love being with 3.5.
I agree with you on that one, man. Yeah, totally agree with you. It sucks that you got moved out and then put to headquarters, because I actually slotted you to go Advon, right?
Yeah, slotted me to go Advon. I went to Afghanistan. So you guys all got there late September, early October. I was there like mid-September. It was only a couple weeks early.
I thought you were there like August.
I'm
Because I thought you guys had left like really early. Because I remember like a bunch of us were trying to jump on that to see if we can go early, and they're like, no, because we legit have to get everything ready.
that may have it may have been August. I from what I recall the month of September being there.
Uh-huh.
It may have been late August we deployed, and we're there in September. That may
Okay.
be more correct. I mean, what really sticks with me is October on, because like the whole month, the whole Advon thing was going around counting MREs, making sure we had supplies, and trying to figure things out.
Okay.
As opposed to the all the events that happened throughout our deployment. So.
I do want to ask you about your time out there, because I just want to hear how you saw things at certain dates and everything, and then if there was anything that literally made you see things differently, change you perspectives and stuff like that. So I wanted to ask you, like, during your time out in Afghanistan and saying it, like, what was your experience like? What, like, how did you view things? Like, what was your thoughts of it?
Man, so singing. So this is kind of crazy. You look at singing now and what it was then. As far as the legend of singing, because I remember going in Leatherneck, and there's this British guy. I went out to have a cigarette, and this British guy is like, coming in or out, mate? Coming in. Where are you heading? I'd never heard the name Singing before. No idea about this place. So going to Singing. This guy like, has a cigarette. He's like, good luck, mate. Throws a cigarette out and walks off. And I'm like, what? What's going on? So we landed Singing. And I remember these guys are like 3-7s out there, and they're like, throw your packs in the truck, get inside. And come to find out, there's a lot of noise of the bird coming in and everything. We're getting shot at coming in. So we get in there, and at first everything's kind of I don't want to say mild, but it wasn't full scale because 3-7's getting ready to leave. Our guys are coming in, and then early on, it all of a sudden turned into this I don't want to say a horror movie, but like almost you would think it's a fictional action movie. Seeing things that from a headquarters perspective. First casualty, he got hit, Doc Long. A few days after that, I wasn't able to respond to that one. They were too far out. A few days after that, second platoon got hit again. I wasn't able to respond to that one because they flooded the routes out, and actually that was kind of a crazy one. Carlisle and I had responded to it, and we get there, and the truck wouldn't go through the mud. And I stopped. I'm driving. My truck won't go through the mud. And I said, we can run for it to try to reinforce. With 2 people, what were we going to really do? But so I opened my door, and my door gets lit up. I shut my door, and we just sat there, listened to the radio. There's nothing we could do at that point, And then 12 hours later, I think is when everything really hit me of this, like, this shit's real. People are getting hurt out here. Because I didn't actually see Doc Long. I saw the truck come in. I saw the bird come in. I didn't see, with everybody that happened with second platoon, Cathwood, and other places and all that. But 12 hours later, when James Bolt got hit, who was 3rd's RO, kind of took my spot after I moved companies or moved platoons. That's the first one I was actually able to respond to, and that was when the reality of this shit's real. This isn't an action movie anymore. And from that point on, a lot of it just seemed like a blur because of all the driving and the circumstances we had. I ended up doing a lot of CASEVACs from I guess not directly, but I would meet up, put them in the truck, and then we'd take off. But it was just a blur of people getting hurt, picking them up. I think I was fortunate because of the job I worked, though, because even after something like that happened, I had more to do. I had to go back and count MREs and check fuel and make sure generators are working and things like that. So I was able to stay busy and keep my mind off of everything. But singing stuff, man, it was, and especially from that perspective, I saw casualties from every platoon. That being said, I think that also one of the I mentioned earlier that you build a family with these guys, and what sticks with me the most is a day that a squad from 1st platoon was out. They were caught in IED belt. They already had one guy get hit, but we didn't want to push anybody else out there because they were in the middle of one. You put more people on the scene, and it can cause some chaos. And one of the first platoon guys had stopped me and asked me what was going on. We're staging trucks and everything, getting ready to go out. And I told him what was going on. Maybe 20 minutes later, 20, 30 minutes later, we hear a second boom. And there was no control deck called. And you kind of have this feeling of like, that's a bad boom. That's not ours. And so I'm running to my truck. And I've already got everything staged. And I look up, and you just see this flood of guys coming out of the chow hall. And it really hits you because you're like, here's all these guys between the ages of 19 and, old guy in the infantry is 25, 19 and 25. They know that a squad just got hit twice. They know that they're probably going to get ambushed. And here they are. They just, like, here in the U.S., like, we're eating our food and stuff. We're like, all right, let me put that off. Let me hold on. But here's these young guys. Stop what they're doing. They're eating in their flaks and Kevlars and stuff. They stopped everything they were doing, got up and ran towards the infantry control point. They were already planning like, we're going out. And so it's really amazing to see, guys like that who barely know somebody on the other side take off, stop everything that they're doing, and take off running just to go help somebody. So you see a lot of love in those horrific events. You see a lot of love come out too. Those kind of things changed me as a man, as a leader, as a Marine. In my second and third deployments, it really changed me to see what it was all about, not just as a young Marine thinking like, we're going to go out there, we're going to kill the enemy. That was all I had on my mind. And then seeing actions like that, it really humbles you to see what those guys do out there, especially from my perspective of like, here I am counting MREs and just picking up casualties, meeting at the halfway point, and here these guys are out in zone, running through hell.
Damn, man. That picture that you just painted, it's I can actually see it because I've been an increment, obviously, but just imagining that. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day where a civilian asked, was like, so why did you do it? Why did you go? And I go, well, I didn't have a choice. I signed up. I did it. I'm there representing my country. While we're there, we think it's a mission, what we're doing, XYZ. We're all gung-ho doing this and that. But that split second that one of our friends, one of our brothers gets hit, it's personal.
Oh, yeah.
At that point, it's literally us versus them. And we're going to take out as many as we can because they took one of us out.
Yeah.
And that literally took me a long time because during Afghanistan, I didn't understand that. I was just like, I'm angry. I'm going to go kill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do my job. I'm here to hunt. I'm going to go do it. Coming out, cooping, realizing what life is, realizing how I was and time and everything, it literally humbled me. And I wrote something one time where I was actually going to write a book after that book came out. I was going to write a book, and I started it literally with something saying like, yes, we signed a contract to fight, foreign and domestic. However, we signed the fucking check. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. We knew it all. And I love hearing how everybody that I've recorded so far has said a specific part or a little small segment of what I wrote in that fucking thing. And I haven't showed anybody. And it's literally what you guys have been saying. So I can just pull that out and it would just fill in like all you guys are literally talking, bro. Like all of it. Like nothing disrespectful. We all love our country. We all here fucking have love for it. It's just in that moment, it's literally our boys, our family versus them.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to tell people, like, people sign up for all manner of different reasons, but you stay in the infantry normally just for one reason, and that's for your family, whether it be your wife and kids or for your boys. And it's kind of cheesy to say, or was back then to say, the guys to the left and the right of you, but that shit's real.
Yeah,
that shit is so real when it comes down to it. And you see guys running through open fields getting shot at, knowing that there's a crazy IED threat out there, and they're not sweeping, they're just running and trying to do anything they can to save their boy. And then, God forbid, they can't, because then you got a whole lot of pissed off Marines coming at you. So
Yeah, and
that's a whole nother situation.
yeah, no, man, no, it's true. And that's one thing that actually I still hold, not to the T, but because obviously we're not getting shot at and getting shot back and all that nonsense, unless you're like Chicago.
Yeah.
Besides that, yeah, I tell everybody, it's like, look, you know what? I can't trust you like I have trusted those to the left and right of me, because they've shown me that they got my back and I got theirs. I know if I need anything, they got my back. I know if they need anything, they can depend on me. We just don't ask each other for shit because we're too. I don't want to. It's like I'm not gonna bug them.
I'm okay.
Yeah, like I'm good. I'm good. Like every time someone texts me, like chilly, just chilly. Hey man, you good? I'm good. Don't fucking lie. A Marine's never good. It's like I'm fine, dude. Like I'm good. It's just like, all right, man. Yeah, dude. Fuck, man. Again, that story, man. It's actually it's cool. It's because I've been a part of something like that. I've got to see something like that. I've got to witness it. However you want to see it or say it, it is humbling. Like seeing that kind of love. Like you don't know who got hit, and you're right. There's a certain distinct explosion. Oh, okay, that's ours. Oh, that's not ours.
Yeah.
And you can see the emotion in the area of how it changes. It's like, okay, cool. Oh, yeah, that's ours. Oh, no, that's not ours. And shift, because I still remember seeing guys running back and forth, Gunny running back and forth, the headquarters element running back and forth, getting trucks ready, getting guns ready, throwing ammo. We're just like, so this is what you guys are doing up here. It's like, all right, you guys are not just fucking around. Like, all right, cool. And then when we got to be a part of that and help you guys out, it was like, got it. Like, you guys are doing dumb shit, like going out with fucking two people in a fucking vehicle, but fuck, like that love, that passion, that devotion is all there, bro.
I mean, I was a very young individual at the time, and Chris Carlisle, the legend that he is. When James Bolt got hit, Chris was Chris's company guns. I just woken up and I had turned on my black gear radio and came over black gear. And the reason we went out with just two guys in a truck, three, me, him, and a gunner, was because all we had was one Mat V and a 7-ton. Everything else was being used out of a picket line. And we didn't really have a plan for it. I feel like you guys learned a lot of stuff out in zone that my second deployment they were training and teaching us before deployment. So it's kind of cool to see, the stuff that happened there actually be taken into doctrine and taught. But I think running into Gunny's room, like shoulder to the door, it's a horrible idea to run in his room like that. Gunny. And this dude slams me against the wall. He's like, what, bitch? I just held up my radio and I was like, 3-2 mass cast. And all he said, go. So I took off running in my truck. Time I got in my truck, he was right behind me. And so I just woke the guy up. He's right behind me. And then we took off, Yeah, it was, I mean, the circumstances that we had, we didn't have enough trucks to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was dumb of us to take off like that. He drove through a cornfield. He and I jumped out of the truck, took off running. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody was like, freeze, there's IEDs everywhere. So like boot camp freeze. Here I am with the pole litter of my head, 1 foot on the ground, like, oh shit, we fucked up. What's going on here? And then we saw, the line of third come along with the casualties and stuff, and it was just like, oh shit.
So man, damn, bro.
Yeah, that one was crazy, man. And like I said, after that, I met a lot of guys. Halfway after that, it was, I don't remember who was after that. Braggs, and then Stetson Perez got hit. There was the occurrence with when Gunny and everybody got hit. When we dropped you guys off at Transformer, the truck got blown up. And then, oh man, I tell people that story. I'm like, you don't understand. We had no option. We drove back with an RPG stuck in the window. And they're like, bullshit. And I pull up the picture. I'm like, nah, bro, it's just here. It's stuck in the window.
I saw that picture recently.
It wasn't my truck. It was, I think Adams was driving that truck. And I was like, little Adams got some balls on him to be driving that thing. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. I haven't heard that name in a while. Damn, dude. Yeah, I think I was talking to, who was it? It was Dunbar. Dunbar brought that up. And he's like, yeah, this is what happened. And I'm like, no way. And I remember that I just recently saw that picture maybe like about a month ago. And my wife walks up. She's like, what's that? And I go, oh, this is that RPG that I told you that got shot through the window. She's just like, oh. And like she just looks at me. She's like, you just talk about it nonchalantly. I'm like, well, it didn't happen to me, so that's why.
Yeah. It didn't. Yeah, it wasn't my truck, so I never got hit, never got blown up. A few trucks in front of us, and I was like, my God, what was that? And then it wasn't until we rounded everybody up, went out and did a little wagon wheel in the desert, and then I look up at the truck and there's a fucking RPU sticking in it, and I'm like, oh, that is not good.
Well, fuck the 7-ton truck that got hit on that one. After we managed to push it, I'm assuming, or pull it, I don't even know what the fuck happened. We left it there at Transformer and it stayed there.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
And after they cleared the 611, we came back to get it. And if I could ever buy a vehicle, like a military vehicle, it'd be a 7-ton, because like we couldn't fix it out there. They chained the axle to the up armor and just drove it on 5 wheels out. Because I was in the back of it. They were like,
Yeah.
You don't have room. You got to sit in the back of the 7-ton. And they moved some people around. They're like, that's probably a bad idea. We're going to put you guys in a vehicle. And they drove this. I think Rothro drove it out. I don't remember if it was him or who it was. They just drove the 7-ton back on 5 wheels. Holy shit.
Hey, man, it happens.
Yeah.
Dude, I keep hearing you talk about the day the bolt got hit. Did that day get to you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I said that one really got to me for a long time. One, like I said, I was the RO in Korea, partly because some of the great training I had prior to coming to 3.5. I was decent with radios, and so I ran the radios for them. But because I was also driving so much, oh man, Volk's by far the smartest dude in our platoon. And normally the RO goes to either like a smart senior or the smartest boot. So I started training him like, hey man, I'm driving all the time. Here's how you program the radios. Here's how, you put crypto in them and stuff like that. And so when I left the platoon, he took it over. And I kind of lost touch with their platoon, running with headquarters for a while. And then, 3 weeks into that deployment, he got hit. And we didn't know who was hit until me and Chris got there. And I remember, like, I had a pulled litter in my hand. Chris had picked up LeBrondo, who was, kudos to LeBrondo. He was, even wounded, he was asking how's West, how's White. He was asking about the casualties, as a corpsman, even though he was one himself. And we put James Bulk on the pulled litter, and I recall looking down and saying, because they train you to say this kind of stuff to reassure people. And I remember looking down and being like, "You're gonna be fine, Bolt. Don't worry, you're gonna be fine." But he was already gone. And then driving back up to ECP, in between that point and getting into my truck, we had LeBrondo and White in my truck, and we drove back up to VCP. And Carlo asked me who was KIA, and I just looked over and I said Bulk. And then Doc started saying, kill him, kill everybody. Like, it hit him hard, I dealt with that for a long time. And sometimes it still hits me because I was the RO. Well, we went through a lot of ROs, but I was one right before him.
Yeah.
And then I responded. And from that, I used to tell my guys, like, for a long time, I thought if I'd have been a little faster. So I used to tell my guys on my second, third deployment, like, you'll never be fast enough. You always have to run faster because you may have to save somebody one day. And that fucked with me for a long time. Sometimes it still does. I felt like it should have been me. And I think that resonates with a lot of the younger guys from 3rd Platoon. as they, potentially could have been ROs, ended up as team leaders, and there's always that. What if I would have stepped there? I should have stepped there. There's always some guilt there when you come to dealing with casualties and thinking like, when you look back and compare the situations and circumstances. But that one messed with me for a long time, man. And like I said, it still does, and it's one of the reasons I don't drink much anymore. Because if I cross that line, it just hits like a fucking freight train. And that was the first one I saw too, so that doesn't, that's the one that really sticks in my head. And after that, said Braggs, Perez, Pito, all the other guys that got hit that I was part of that CASEVAC, but that was the one that really stuck with me.
Yeah, man. I don't want to fucking tell you what you probably heard a million fucking times, where it's like, dude, if you were the RO, you would have stepped different fucking spots, XYZ, blah blah blah, because you never know.
Exactly.
You never know.
You never know. And there were situations in my second deployment where I was like, man, if I'd have made a different call, if I'd have made moved one step to the left, that I'd have had my head would have been a soup bowl. So you can't. It's like I said, it's still hard to deal with. You can't live in that path, but you can learn from it. And I think that dealing with that and learning from that made me a better leader. I think because one, like I said, I always told my guys you can never be fast enough, and so I would push them as hard as I possibly could. And I ran my CASEVAC drills constantly, but realizing that you couldn't weigh everything on that, I think also allowed me to continue pushing forward throughout my second and third deployment, regardless of what happened. It was like you couldn't, especially out there, you couldn't just sit there and soak on that. You had to get up the next day and keep going forward. And I think it really started to hit me when I was getting out, and it was like, what do I do now? Because it was no longer another out, another day of we got to get up and patrol, we got to get up and take care of this. It was wake up and do some homework, wake up and do something, and a lot of it just didn't feel the same anymore. So that's when things really started to hit me after I got out.
I feel you, man. That feeling that you're saying, I translate it and define it as we will never be that badass again.
No,
because that life was very simple and we loved it. Wake up, go out, take care of the job. We had casualties, cope with them, wake up the next day, do them again.
Yeah.
Simple life. And that's honestly the biggest, and if I could put a blanket over all of us, it feels like that's what it is. Like, fuck, that feeling like, okay, because I keep hearing it from other people. It's like, we are a very special breed. We were that fucking warrior breed that literally went out that a lot of people don't do. Like, if there were to be a war that broke out right now, our generation would be like, how do I get back in?
So, like, my knees hurt, but I can take some ibuprofen.
Yeah, it's like, ibuprofen, change my socks. We're good. We'll do this. Yeah. They're like, wait, aren't you, like, complaining that we're good? Just give me my gun. We're good. Yeah, no, man. Like, I literally tell my wife, like, I look at my freaking my selective service thing and I stare at it and I go, I've called and I go, hey, when's the cutoff? And they go, XYZ. I'm like, so if there's a draft, I'm good, right? I'm all over that shit. I'm just like, man, I try to get back into the military. I try to go back into the Air Force as a pilot. They showed up with, hey, thank you for your service. I try to go back in as a Marine freaking officer as well. I wanted to kind of follow trace of one of the lieutenants we had during that time. I was like, you know what? I'm like, fuck it. Why not? Like, if everyone saw him a certain way and I was a fucking same way, like an asshole as well, obviously, according to you as well. I was an asshole. You know, people change. You know, like go to school, get my degree, got my degree, try to get back in, and they're like, you have tattoos? Yep, hung up. I was
Nice.
like, really?
Nice.
Out of all my qualifications, you asked me if I had tattoos and you hung up on me. Yeah, so I just dropped it. Yeah. Damn, man. But yeah, dude, the whole feeling of that life, like that life is a fucking good life, man. It really
It
is.
was, man. It was awesome. It's like, and I think, like you said, it's a simple life, and
Yes.
that simplicity it's addicting. It
Yes.
really is. Like, you don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about I mean, if the power goes out, whatever. Like, you don't care. You know? Oh, power's out again. No big deal. Go back to sleep. You know,
Yeah.
somebody else will fix it. It's
Like, let's go outside till the lights fucking go out.
yeah. It's it's do your job, don't get killed. That was what it came down to. Um, and when you leave that, it's daunting to think, what do I do now? Like, what is the purpose now? And I think that's one of the reasons I'm going into nursing school, because there's a purpose behind helping people out, you know. And I think it's one of the reasons a lot of vets go into things like firefighting and being a police officer and first responder things, because it gives them an additional purpose to keep helping others,
Right.
or just a purpose in general. So.
Yes, you're right. And it just sucks when we try to force it and try to find and force a purpose that we think is going to work for us. Because I was guilty of that for the longest time, and I was not happy. Like, we had a conversation when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
Life seemed great. People had this impression of me. However, I was not happy whatsoever at all. And it's just because of that satisfaction. It's like, okay, I have everything that everyone is trying to achieve that's never gone to war. Those that have gone to war, yes, we didn't ask for any of that nonsense for it. We just happened to go to it.
Mm-hmm.
It hit us in a certain way, and we had to cope with it in a certain way, and we dealt with it a certain way. As soon as we get back and we're out, we're just like, oh shit, now we got to play catch up. But this life is boring. You guys are making this hard. Yeah, that's literally what it is. It's like, this life is boring, and you guys make it harder than what it is.
Yeah, it is, man. He said, I told you I was working a good job. I paid off my truck, bought a motorcycle. Like, I was doing good. I had money in the bank, but I wasn't happy. I was just like, what is it all for? You know?
Yes.
And that's when I decided, I packed up my stuff, moved up here, and around some of the guys that we deployed with then. And it makes it a lot more comforting. It makes it easier to have guys around, even if you don't see them all the time. You know, just know that like they're there. That those guys who you could count on are down the road, or if something happens. So it's comforting.
Yes, I got you. Like, I didn't understand that for the longest time. Like, my family, I pushed everyone away. Marines would try to get close to me. I'm like, just get the fuck away from me. Like, I'm good. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're fine. Just suck it the fuck up. I was that guy. And after I realized, like, fuck, I'm not fine. Like, Chris Carlos, the one's like, bitch, you're not fine. Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't say one word to him. I think I said hi to him when I went to go see him. He talked the entire time. I looked at him. He's like, it's okay. He just broke down crying. And he's like, it's all right, bro. And after that, I was just like, all right, I'm going to get help. Like, I need the help. I'm going to do something about this. But yeah, you're right, man. Because, like, there's guys that I hear, like, that live right around me. And they'll show up to my house randomly drunk. They'll text me. They've come to my wife's work and been like, why isn't Barbara or George fucking telling me, hey, let's hang out, like, we should be closer? And that was my own stupid fucking fault for not seeing them for the bond that we had. It was just more like, no, like, I saw you as a poison. Like, there's something wrong with you. You go fix yourself. I don't want to deal with it. Like, fix your problem, then come back to me. Not like, fuck, you have the same problems I have. Like, let's help each other out. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, absolutely, man. Because I remember when I first got out, I said, I went that same route. Like, got a good job, worked. And I would hear stuff from other veterans, and whether they were on that deployment or not, and some they were like, oh, I've got this problem, I got this problem. I'm like, you're a bitch. I guess that's what you are. You're a pussy. And the nights would go by, and I'd get drunk, and then I'd wake up the next morning, and I'd be like, maybe that guy's not a bitch. Maybe I should, seek somebody else out and see, just talk to somebody, because the things that we were dealing with, but still people are dealing with, they weren't okay. And that's I think that's the blanket way to describe it, is that, like, you're not okay, and that's all right. But at the same time, like, that simple life where you got to get up and we had to get up and do it again the next day. What it comes down to now, I think, it's like, I had my breakdowns, and I had, my bad nights, but the next morning I got to get up and do it again.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, everything that happened to those guys over there
Yeah.
means nothing. It means absolutely nothing if I don't continue to make something of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot who was, it was one of our guys. I was talking to him and he literally said that it's like, yeah, man, I'm just stuck. It literally feels like I'm staring at still water. And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, damn, that makes sense. And I catch myself because I used to tell my wife all the time, yeah, I'm busy. I'm doing a bunch of shit. Then when I realized what I was doing, I would just sit on the couch and just stare down at the floor and just be like, and just zone out.
Yeah.
Complete, just, yeah, just zone out. And sometimes I would try to like numb out the feelings. And then other times I'd be like, shit, what the hell is this? Why am I thinking about this? And like I tried to like find something. That's where that unsatisfaction feeling and everything else were to kick in. Like it sucks, man. It fucking sucks. But like you said, it's just trying to find something and realizing that we need change and all the nonsense. And it doesn't matter what we did yesterday. It's what we're doing today and keep moving forward and becoming better and all that nonsense. Because shit, it took me a long time to figure that out, and I'm still trying to figure it out because every freaking veteran that I talk to, I'm learning more from, and I find that they're in better steps than I am, and I am figuring out how to help my own self by just hearing you guys out, hearing where you guys come from, and all that stuff, man. Like it's awesome, dude. It really is. Like hearing you guys talk about your stories, hearing you guys talk about like moments. I know it sucks to remember things like the day that bolt got hit, and you're trying to like not let the emotions kick back up and everything. Because I know like sometimes it chokes us up. We're just like, damn, like why the hell now? Because I've been there, right?
Yeah. Even telling now, is like, oh, let me look off screen real quick because I don't want to look at this man face to face and talk about this right now.
I feel you, man. If you have to look away, man. No, I'm serious. If you have to look away.
But it does, man. It chokes you up when you sit back and you think about those type of things. But I think that it's vitally important that we talk about those things and we share those things and we take them and grow from them. Well, I think, like I said, man, like when I finally had my own squad, and thank God we never saw any combat. My third deployment, we broke down Jackson. We left Singing. We went to Dwyer and patrolled around Dwyer. I got there. But I told those guys, from day one that I got my squad, I said, look, your mission, period, is to bring everyone home. And having been to Singing before, knowing I was going back for the third time, I told them, ultimately, you're going to fail. But this is what it is. This is our family. And this we got to bring everyone back. And that was what I pushed on them to try and build a cohesive family. And it was things that I learned from those prior deployments. And then after I got out, it was what do I do now to keep pushing forward? Because there were no more deployments. There was no more training. There was no more teaching Marines. And then I came to this realization that I was just working and going day to day. I wasn't really pushing towards anything. I wasn't making any. I don't want to say I wasn't making anything out of myself because I had a good job. But I wasn't striving for anything more. I was just stagnant. And it took a night of, I had a real bad night one time. I ended up like, oh man, like 27 years old at the time, 27, 28, at my mom's house, 10 o'clock at night, crying, bawling my eyes out because I was having a panic attack. And it took that for me to be like, I got to push forward for something else. I can't just keep working the same job, working the same job, get up on Sundays, cut the grass, and that was it. That's all I was doing. I had to push for more. He said, because if I didn't, he said, all those guys, they what they did meant nothing, or means nothing if we don't push for more. And I think that was what really helped me the most. Is actually saying that I've got a problem, and the best way for me to fix it is to keep pushing forward, or to deal with it. Not really fix it. I don't think there is any fixing it. I think there's a ways to deal with it, but it was to keep trying to do more with what I have now, as opposed to just sitting there.
Gotcha. You're right, man. You said it perfectly. Perfectly said it. Like I hear other guys, like I mentioned Chile earlier, just Chile.
Yeah.
Same thing. Not exact words, but same thing. It's like if you just stop everything we did and their sacrifice was for nothing, dude. And I'm just like, and I hear people all the time tell me this, and I'm just like, and different aspects of how they see war, how they see now the world, and everything, like different aspects all over. But what they do have in common is what our guys died for. If you give up, if you don't have a purpose, it's for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, I hate to say it about Afghanistan as a whole, but I don't see anything really productive coming out of there. It was kind of cool. Like the first deployment, man, I had a theory that the dogs ate the kids. I never saw any kids. I saw 2 kids.
You never went out. We had all the kids.
Yeah, okay, you're right. You're right. I was about to say I saw 2 kids come into Inkerman who got shot, and I saw 2 kids come into Inkerman who were like a propane tank exploded in the middle of the night. So I never saw any kids, until like I went down to the bazaar one time on a convoy, and then I saw some. So I was like, no kids out here. The dogs must eat the kids.
On top of the hill?
What's that?
That little compound that had like multiple little houses in one. It was like that big wall where we first were getting shot at. It's like as soon as you come out of Increment, it was that first compound in front of you. Not the single to the right, but it was like a long wall, and there was compounds inside of that.
When you come out of Inkerman, like you're facing the 611, it's to the left of Inkerman?
You're right. So if you're facing the 611, coming out of Increment, it's on the right side. It's the top of the hill. Because there was kids in that.
Well, I never saw
a lot of kids.
I never saw the little bastards.
So when we used to walk, when it was okay to walk from Transformer there, when we used to walk through the desert, not without the IDs, we used to walk following the kids.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was my thing.
Oh man,
everyone's like, you stop using the children as what do they call it? Stop using the children as armor. And I go, no, that's actually mean. I can go to jail for that. I'm just escorting these children home.
Oh man, it's funny. So my second deployment, we were out of Alcatraz, and we would go out into the green zone, and there's all these kids all around us. So it's cool to see all the kids finally, and to see them out playing and stuff like that. And my squad leader would get so pissed, super pissed. And I'd be like, bro, if there's kids out, we're good. Like, they're not going to shoot. There's no IEDs around here. The kids are here. It's fine. Yeah. And it was so bad one time. Like I had a suspicion up about this little, some disturbed earth. It was just a weird spot. And I asked this kid, and I was like, IED, Bomba? And this little kid just runs over and jumps on it. He's like, no, Bomba. He just runs and jumps on it. I was like, oh my God. Like, here's some candy, dude. Like, go fuck off now. Like, do not do that again. Like, I was like, bro, I was almost in Leavenworth right then. Oh man.
I thought you were gonna tell me a story like I forgot. I think it was Rob Hansen. It was literally like that little compound right next to us in Transformer. We were there, and there was kids everywhere.
Yeah.
There was one of the kids that walks up to us, and he looks at Hansen, and Hansen asks the kid. He goes, "IED, bomb, or whatever the word was." He goes, "Is there?" And he goes, "Yes, right there." Yeah. Taliban was in a building across from where we were, saw that, and then over the radio was saying, fuck it, I don't care if there's kids, blow them up, they just ratted us out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they were going to open up and blow us up even though there was kids in the thing. That's when we're like, okay, you guys are not even fucking caring anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there used to be somewhat kind of like fucking rule between you guys, but it's like, no, once they started fucking attacking kids, it's like, okay, we're not playing this game.
We had this, my second tour, we had this guy. We had this op down in a place called Kali Gaz, and we had this guy who was across from our PV we had set up, and we called him Afghan Cat Williams. Because the dude had like Cat Williams hair.
Jesus.
Yeah, he had Jesus hair. We were like, but he always had kids all around him. He'd go take a shower in the creek, had kids around him. Go take a shit, kids were around him and stuff like.
Not pedophile, was he?
Maybe Afghan, I don't know. But it looks like he's Taliban as fuck. But he never did anything for us to he was just watching us the whole time. He never did anything for us to take a shot at him. But supposedly his brother, we did shoot his brother.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he was like peeking his head around the corner. One of our guys on post popped him. Hit him in the shoulder though. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. It seems like to me, man, like how you experienced that whole deployment, that the waves of casualties that were coming in and hearing it over the radio, not being on the ground, but being that huge fucking support. Because I still remember you guys driving out fucking super fucking far to pick up a bunch of guys from First Platoon that hit IEDs. Made fun of you about earlier where you and fucking Carlisle fucking ran out there, did fucking dumb shit you weren't supposed to fucking do.
Yeah. Well,
When I said earlier, like I remember standing in an increment, I remember seeing you running around with your radio on your hip. Like I fucking remember still, like just running around doing everything, and you're just like, fuck. I remember seeing all the headquarter guys getting everything ready that we needed. And it sucks because some of the supplies that we needed were very fucking low, but you guys managed to do much, a shitload, and give it to us. And I say you guys, not other people. And I hope you understand that one. You guys.
Yeah, I understand that one.
Okay, because you guys actually took care of us. We needed something, we'd go to you guys or we go to you over other individuals. So, like, in my view and listening to everything that you told me, bulk, it sounds like that got to you pretty bad. Especially because you were part of that platoon, friend of yours. And it's, I don't want to say it seems, but it seems like you question yourself a lot, like, fuck, that could have been me.
Yeah, man. Like I said, that really. After that happened, actually, I recall talking to Kramer, and I think I was talking to Kramer and Cruz, both headquarter guys, and telling them, I was like, that was me. That was supposed to be me. The reality is that it was months before the deployment that he took over the RO position, but I still felt that it was my position because I'm the one that, kind of said, hey, you're going to be the RO if I'm gone. And there's no doubt that he was better at it than I am, or I was. But I definitely, for a long time, I thought that should have been me to be out there in zone. And seeing the other casualties come in and not being out there definitely added to that, because I always felt like, why am I sitting here counting MREs and filling up trucks and doing all this shit when I should have been out there patrolling and getting into fights and helping out what I could for a long time. And I still do today sometimes. I think, man, that it should have been me. And to my understanding, if there's some other guys from 3rd Platoon that feel the same way, that they should have been the ones to have been the RO and taken that hit. And I think that resonates with other people in other casualties too. But that definitely struck a bone. And for a long time, I thought that it was my spot, and it should have been me out there to get hit. And yeah, I specifically told Kramer and Cruz that after, the same day after it happened, that I was the RO, and it should have been me.
Question for you. When you went back to Sangin, did you purposely find battalions that were going to Sangin, or did you get luck of the draw?
Luck of the draw. Well, kind of luck of the draw. Actually, I got in trouble, and they at first 1-5 asked for combat replacements, and I volunteered to go. And Cartier pulled me to the side after I did. He said, "I'm not even putting your name on that list. I'm not sending you back." He said, "You're not." He said, "No." I said, "I'm not doing it." And then I got us in trouble, and then me and Roush, a couple of days, maybe a week after we got in trouble, got orders to go to 1-7, and we found out, we're like, oh man, 1-7's going to Sangin, aren't they? Like, yeah, and it hit us like, fuck, that sucks. And so my mentality switched from this like, we're partying and drinking and doing dumb stuff to we're going back. and it's going to get real again. Fortunately, it did and it didn't. But and then I went back a third time with 1.7. But yeah, it was luck of the draw. Like I said, I did volunteer with 1.5, but they wouldn't put me on that list. Which is probably a good thing, because that was only a couple months after we got back that I volunteered to go at 1.5, and they said no, which is definitely a good thing that they didn't let me go. But yeah, just luck of the draw that we ended up going back.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask you because how you were explaining that should have been you and how you wanted to, it was messing with you and everything. I started thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Did he keep going back because he felt like he needed to do something or change something? Because I know a few individuals that had that feeling, so I was just asking.
And when I originally volunteered to go back with 1.5, that was definitely my mindset. It was definitely, I'm not done. I want to go back, and I want to see this thing through. And honestly, even with when we got orders to go back, that was my mindset again. I was like, no, I'm going back, and I'm gonna run a tight team, and we're gonna take the fight to them. We're gonna make them pay. And it wasn't until my third deployment that I started to see things in a different light.
Gotcha. I like how you ended that. I like it. So it's just all of singing literally just changed you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like you grew up with singing.
Yeah, I did, man. People ask me sometimes, they're like, "Oh, guys running the vets. Like, you ever go on ship, going to mute?" And I'm like, "No, I just kept going back to Afghanistan." I saw, I went to singing with 3.5. 3.7 hit singing first before us, and I guess there was some other guys in singing in 2008. I read stuff online every now and then, but then I went back with 1.7 in 2012, and it was a vastly different atmosphere. Back again in 2014, and when they were shutting it down, and so we closed down Jackson. So I kind of saw the whole from one perspective, the whole storyline of what happened there. Yeah, singing definitely was my life in the Marine Corps. I spent 2 years. Well, not 2 years in singing. My second tour, we ended up going to Nowzad for a little bit. The third, we ended up in Dwyer after we shut down singing. But I spent the better part of 2 years in singing of between 2010 and 2014. I spent that time there.
Damn, man. I know the experiences were up and down, but kind of jealous. Seems fun.
I mean, that simple lifestyle was nice. It was nice just I'm going to go work out. What's for dinner? Whatever.
I didn't work out.
Is.
There's no working out in combat. There's no working out in combat for this guy. Combat is literally, I'm going to go out, I'm going to kill, I'm going to come back, I'm going to sleep. That's it.
2014 was a different story, man. It was a different story.
I even got called out for posts on one of the segments I did. They're like, you didn't even do posts. I'm like, I did it like twice.
I saw that. I watched that right now. Yeah. Oh man, I had guys falling asleep on posts. That was fun.
Yeah.
Not for me, it was not for them. I had one guy, habitual, I'm gonna fall asleep on post kind of guy. Middle of the day, like, really, dude? It's noon. How are you asleep at noon?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Oh man, damn, bro. So besides everything that you shared with me and everything we talked about, man, like, what else is new? What's next? What's going on? Like, what's up with Joe? Because it feels weird calling you Joe.
I don't know, man. Like I said, what next is I'm gonna have come fall. I should have my phlebotomist cert. Start working in the healthcare field. Hoping to get. It's probably gonna take another year, 2 years to actually get my associate in nursing. Been stuck doing prerequisite classes and stuff. But
Nice.
and then just trying to continue on with in the nursing field. We'll see how the girlfriend and I end up going. Everything's going great with us right now. It really is. It says she puts up with my shit, keeps me in line. So we'll see how that all works out. I'm optimistic about it. So She might get tired of my shit, but we'll see. I don't think she will. At least I hope she doesn't. So.
Good, man. Good.
Yeah, man. That's really it. Just school and work and seeing where continue to get up every day and then make something more of myself.
That's good, man. Well, I'm glad to see that you're in a better fucking spot. Like, I know every day is a growing fucking challenge. Every day is something new. Every day is different battle. And 1 minute we're good, and then something reminds us, or dates come around, and we're like, shit, here we go again. Like,
yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's always going to be in the back of our mind. We think we're good. Like, I thought I was fine. I really did think I was fine until this last year. I actually had to reach out to Ryan Sotelo and was like, hey, man, I need to talk. He's like, what's good? I'm like, this is what's up. I thought I was fine. I thought I'm being a bitch right now. And he's like, no, bro. And he starts talking to me just like how I'm talking to you. And it made me realize, like, shit, like, we legit are fucked for the rest of our lives. Yeah, man. We're just
yeah,
like,
man.
oh,
I
this is
don't
your
think
life.
there's a fix to it, but there's ways to deal with it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, so I'm gonna remember this, and it's gonna suck, and it's gonna come from time to time. I gotta be ready.
Yeah, you do, man. Because every now and then it's gonna hit you like a freight train, and just gotta
It's heavy.
whatever you gotta do to deal with it. Go work out. Go, whatever you gotta do. Productively to deal with that. I don't want to. I mean, I have no problem with drinking and stuff, but I don't want to turn people to the bottle or to turn people to other things that don't really help.
Yeah,
I feel like that doesn't really help at least. So.
Yeah, like John Torres says, there's nothing wrong with a little doobie from time to time. Fucking Torres. Yeah, but no, it's true, man. Like I hit rock bottom one time. I became an alcoholic. Wrecked 2 cars. It's not a fun fucking ride to go down. It's not. And during the moment, it feels good because it's numbing you. But in reality, in the long term, you're just gonna fuck yourself up, man.
Yeah, you just taking a longer way to kill yourself, man. That's all that is. And with guys that the 22 a day and stuff like that, it's I really hope that more guys see things like what you're doing here and then start talking more, because even if it's just talking to, I don't want to say talking to yourself, because that's a whole other problem that people have. But talking to whoever you can about stuff, because if that's what really, I think that's what really helps people out. Or like, I don't know, man. Like I said, just doing something productive with it, taking all that hate and energy or whatever you got, and taking it to something else.
Yeah, man.
Because otherwise, like I said, it's for nothing. Otherwise, you just become another number.
I feel you, man. Nope, totally fucking agree with you. Totally agree with you. And I'm glad you decided to take time out of your day and do this podcast with me. I'm glad you wanted to share your story, catch up. I really am, man. And like I said, I hope it helps. I hope this isn't the last time I speak to you. I hope we stay in contact. Keep sending me your fucking emojis out. Keep laughing.
I get a lot of comments on those, man.
Well, I know the story now, so I'm just like, all right, cool, I get it. Makes sense. Yeah, like I'm telling you, it threw me off. I was like, what? It's like one of those Mean Girl moments. It's like, if you're from Africa, why are you white?
Yeah.
Like that was literally my moment. I'm like, threw me off.
I worked with at this factory down south that I did send him to him, and he would send the black guy. He would name Marcus. He would send me back white thumbs up. He was just like, okay, I see how you're gonna play this game now. All right.
Oh man, I sent one time, and I got a response with saying, "You know, you're not that light." I'm like, oh. I was just like, "Oh, you're an asshole." But hey, man, it is what it is. But dude, again, it was great to fucking have you on here. It really was. It was great to catch up. Great to see you. Hope to see you again. Maybe you and somebody else from one of the guys from Wisconsin up there can tag team something and talk or shoot the shit, or just shoot the shit in general. My phone's always on for you guys. Besides that, man, I hope to see you at the reunion if you can make it. And if not, then there's always more dates we can freaking meet up. There's obviously, as long as we're alive, we can see each other. But let's just try not to forget and just carry on with our lives and be like, I don't want to bug them. I won't be a burden. I'm not a burden, bro. If it ain't for telemarketers, my phone don't ring. I'm being serious, man. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. Thank you for sharing. If there's nothing else, then that'd be the wrap up of the show, man.
All right, man. Sounds good. I appreciate the interview and everything. Let me get the story out. I really do look forward to seeing more of your podcast, and I'll definitely stay in touch, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot. And if you know anybody that wants to jump on, bro, I'd love your freaking help. I'd love veterans reaching out to me. So if you can get Ward, you got called out, Ward. You're gonna freaking jump on here. Go down to freaking his house and just hang out. Just sit in the back.
Yeah, I might just be sitting in the back, like chilling out, but I might be able to get him on here. We'll see.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm trying to get as many as we can on here. I'm obviously trying to do a certain number before the reunion. I'm not trying to say what it is, but your video will be released before the reunion. I'm actually going to try to release as many as I can without over flooding everything. So when we reach a certain number, I'm actually going to try to do something for the reunion. So I hope to see as many as you guys there. And I hope that you stay positive, man. Good luck at school. Good luck studying, because I ain't gonna touch those things. The words you were telling me with, I was like, my exact words were, "They tell you how to talk."
Like, yeah. I can't
how to
that for myself, but I blame that on my accent. So
don't worry, I might have to go take that class, because there's times where I make up words or I can't remember what word to say. I'm just like, shit. But again, man, thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. If you got nothing else to say, to everyone, thank you for watching. Look out to Joe. It is weird calling you Joe Warner. Joe Warner. Thank you for everything again. Subscribe, like the videos, and until next time, we out.